Welcome to episode 8 of Learning Fusion. Today we're going to cover the toolbar within Fusion. So let's roll this intro and let's get into it.
We're learning Fusion together. We'll learn 2D stuff and 3D stuff and particle stuff and compositing stuff, deep pixel stuff and tracking stuff, but not other stuff, but some other cool stuff, because we're learning Fusion together.
So the toolbar is this located right here below our little transport controls and above our node area right here. And if you're not seeing this by default, if you go up to your Fusion and hit Show Toolbar, you can show and hide your little toolbar. So by default, we've got this little toolbar set up, and it's got different areas with different nodes set up within it. And we've got our little generator nodes right here, some color and blur nodes. We've got some compositing nodes. We've got our mask nodes, some particle nodes, and some 3D nodes. So by default, we got our little background here. And to load these nodes from our toolbar, we can either click once, like I just did with a background, or I can click our little fast noise here, or you can click and drag it in. Now also, if we're selected on a node, we can select any one of these and it'll just automatically add it after the node that we're selected on. Additionally, say I'm selected on this background and I want to add another node that's going to require a merge. So like our text node is going to need a merge to go with our background. So if I select that, it's automatically going to add that merge. And this is dependent on how we have it set up. So if you remember the other day when we went over our Fusion settings, if we go into Fusion settings, our little defaults right here, this auto tools, when I automatically need a merge, like I just did, I hit that text and it added a merge. If you remember right, we can change that right here. And right now it's set up to merge, or I can change it to multi-merge or whatever else I want for it to automatically create that node. So let's go ahead and delete these. So we've got our little color corrector, our color curves. We've got a brightness and contrast, and we've got a blur node. Under our compositing section, we've got a merge. We've got a multi-merge, we've got a channel booleans, we've got a matte control, and our transform. And then under our mask sections here, we've got our little rectangle, our ellipse, our polygon, our B-spline, and our multi-poly. And then under our particle systems, we can add an emitter node, we can add a directional force, and a render. And then for our 3D nodes here, we can add a little 3D merge. And then we've got our image plane, our shapes, our 3D text. We can add a camera. We can add a spotlight. And finally, we can add our little render node. So those are the default tools within our toolbar, our default toolbar. But on our toolbar, if we right click anywhere, we have the option to change what toolbar we're using. So I've also got a 3D toolbar set up, so I can just select that 3D, and it's got most of the 3D stuff I use when I use 3D within Fusion. Now additionally, we can create our own toolbar. So if I go to Customize, Create Toolbar, I can name this whatever I want. So let's say I want to set up a toolbar for when I'm doing keying operations. I can go ahead and name this whatever I want to keyer. So now if I right click, I've got a new one called keyer. Now if you notice, it's got all the same tools we had when we were in our 3D node. So if I wanted to work off my default instead when I created that, let's go here. We can go to Customize, and I can remove that entire keyer right there. So I can remove that entire menu system. And now we're on our default. So now I can go here, Customize, Create Toolbar, keyer, hit OK, and now it's based off of our little default toolbar here. So now I can come in here and customize however I want. So firstly, I can delete some of these nodes I don't want. So if I know I don't want some of these nodes, like my fast noise, my text, and my little paint node, I can right click, go to Customize, remove fast noise, right click, Customize, remove text plus, Customize, remove paint. Additionally, if I want to just remove this entire group here with all my color stuff, I could just right click on any of these little tools or the nodes within this little area right here, hit customize and hit remove group. So now I just removed that group. Now I do want to keep my compositing stuff. I do want to keep all my masking stuff, but I don't want any of this particle stuff or 3D stuff for my little keyer group here. So again, I can right click, customize, remove group, customize, remove group. Now I want to add some keys. So there's a few ways to do this. So I could simply come down here and search for some stuff I want. So I can hit shift space, search for say my delta keyer, and I can click and drag that into my little toolbar. Now if I want to add one of these little separators, I can just right click, customize, add divider. So it added this little divider for me, but let's say I want this over here instead, this over here, I can just click and drag those around. So another way I can add is I can go to my effects, and right here under effects, under tools, it's going to have all my little nodes broken down into groups. So I can go find my matte nodes. So these are all my matte nodes. So if I want to add my little alpha multiply, I can add our clean plate and add my cryptomatte and whatever else I want to add. So let's go ahead and add our magic mask. And I've already got our matte control, but it's over here. So I can grab this matte control and scooch it on over. And scooch it on over. So now it's in my little keyer area right here. So now I've got my customized toolbar set up. If I want to go back to my default, I can just go to my default, right click, got my 3D, right click, and I've got my keyer. So now if I'm working with any keying stuff, so let's go ahead and bring some green screen in. We've got our little green screen footage. I can just click on my delta keyer. It's there. I can grab my key, fix it, and we can work from there. Add my matte control, fix my threshold, and so you see how that works. So additionally, within our toolbar area, if I wanted to rename this from keyer to say matte, I can right click this, go to customize, select rename keyer. I can just type in matte. So now if I right click, now I've got matte named as my toolbar. Additionally, if I wanted to delete it, I can go to customize and just select remove matte. It'll delete that entire toolbar. Now, just as a note, any of these toolbar operations are not undoable, meaning you can't hit Control Z and undo it. So if you accidentally delete your toolbar, it's not going to pop back on your undo button. So be careful when you're working with this. It's pretty finalized when you make these changes. So that is the toolbar area of Fusion. I will see you in the next episode.